Have you ever had a day when your entire life turns upside down, and it's not even 9 a.m. yet? That was me. Mar, 35, sitting in my kitchen with nothing but a cold cup of tea and a scribbled note. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. No confrontation, no explanation, just absence where once there had been a life. My husband, who had kissed me goodnight just the day before, was suddenly gone. That's the thing about silence. You don't realize how loud it can be until it's all that's left. Until the quiet wraps around your bones and squeezes, until the life you spent years building just dissolves like steam from that forgotten cup of tea. I sat in that stillness, staring into the kind of emptiness that doesn't echo back, just questions. Who am I now? Without him, without a future, without a family? You don't just mourn a person. You mourn everything you imagined with them. And me? I'd spent years fighting, pleading, hoping for a child. One more try, one more appointment, one more month of prayers that ended in heartbreak. Every failed test felt like a door slamming, shut in my soul. And when he left, he didn't just walk out. He took the future I had built in my heart, the mother I was aching to become. I felt gutted. Shame clung to me like a second skin, and the dreams? They didn't disappear. They just burrowed deeper, quiet and painful. I had a choice. Let that grief bury me, or just try, to breathe again. That's when I started volunteering at the Children's Welfare Center. I needed something to fill the long, aching hours, something to silence the thoughts that kept me up at night. And then one afternoon, they walked in. 5 boys, all under 10, brothers. They looked like they'd come through a storm together. Mismatched shoes, patched up clothes, eyes that didn't meet yours but seemed to see straight through you. Their parents had died in a fire, one of those tragedies you read about and say, how awful, never thinking it might ever touch your own world. With no relatives willing to take all 5, they were passed around like a problem no one wanted to solve. I still remember the social worker's words. No one takes 5. It's impossible. But when I looked at those boys, I saw something in them. Something that mirrored the ache inside me. Pain, yes. Fear, definitely. But mostly, that silent, desperate hunger to belong somewhere. That night I couldn't sleep. Their faces haunted me. Henry, the eldest, already carrying responsibility far beyond his years. Kenneth, quiet and sharp-eyed, always thinking. The twins, Joshua and Joseph, pure chaos and sunshine, and little, divine, barely 5, soft-cheeked and clinging to his brothers like his life depended on them. I still wanted to be a mother. That dream wasn't dead. It was just waiting for a new shape. My house was small. My savings were smaller. And I had no one in the world I could call in the middle of the night. But my heart? It had more love than I knew what to do with. So, I took the leap. No map, no money, no guarantee, just love. I brought them home. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was messy, beautiful, exhausting. School fees piled higher than my countertop. Dinner was often rice and beans, maybe eggs if we were lucky. We patched up furniture with duct tape, visited the clinic so often the nurse knew our names. There were tantrums that rattled the windows, nights when bad dreams screamed louder than thunder, and teenage years that hit like wild storms, slammed doors, broken rules, music shaking the walls. But in that chaos, something grew, something real, a family. We danced barefoot in the rain, sang gospel off-key in our cramped living room, burned dinners but laughed until we couldn't breathe. I taught them how to tie ties, how to say, I'm sorry and mean it, how to fight fair and love fiercely, even when life doesn't. Did I always get it right? Not even close. There were days I cried behind the bathroom door just to catch my breath. Days I wondered if I'd made a mistake too big to undo. But then I'd see them. Those boys, my boys, and giving up stopped being an option. They blossomed. Henry earned a full scholarship, first in the family to go to college. Kenneth built a tech blog from our old dining table and watched it go viral. The twins turned their love for fashion into a small clothing line, learning to sew on second hand. Machines. And Divine had a voice that could stop a crowded room. Music poured out of him like a gift. They grew up. Some moved across oceans. But every holiday, every birthday, they came back. No matter where they went, this house, with its cracked walls and creaky floors, was still home. I never asked for anything in return. I didn't need it. Watching them live and grow and become good men, that was more than enough. Time passed in a blink. My My hair turned silver. My hands, worn from years of cooking, cleaning, hugging, started to ache, but my spirit? It stayed strong. Then came my 60th birthday. They all came back, every last one of them, their laughter filling every corner of the house like sunlight. Henry handed me a small silver key tied in ribbon. I laughed. What is this? A joke? But they just smiled and took my hand. Outside, in the driveway, was a house. My house. Bright white walls, big open windows, rose bushes blooming in the garden. We built it together, Mama, Henry said. Divine's voice trembled as he whispered the words that undid me. They had pooled their money, their skills, their dreams, and built a future for me. I tried to respond, but no words came. Only tears filled the silence. Every late night, every silent prayer, every sacrifice I made, this was what it all led to. I had poured everything I had into them, and now, without asking, they were pouring it all back. Then they handed me a folder, and inside were the documents, proof of a trust. Fund more than enough to care for me for the rest of my days. It would cover my medical bills, my travels, even seed money if I ever decided to open that little bakery or flower shop I used to dream about. I looked at them, stunned, and barely managed to say, "You did this for me?" Henry stepped forward, eyes full of emotion. "We owe you everything," he said. "You gave us life when we had none. Now it's our turn to make sure you live yours." And right there, I broke. Tears of a joy so deep it didn't need words. But life had one more. Twist in store, just a few months later, each of the boys found love. Real, soul-deep love. And instead of 5 separate weddings, they planned one grand celebration. 5 grooms, 5 radiant brides, music so joyful it shook the town. And at the center of it all, me. They gave me the first seat, and the MC didn't start with the couples. He started with me. Before we celebrate these men, let's honor the woman who raised them, who gave everything so they could become who they are. The applause was thunder. I had never felt so seen. That story went everywhere. Photos, headlines, book offers, but none of it mattered more than Sunday dinners. My house, once filled with grief, now pulsed with grandchildren's laughter. Spilled juice, toy cars underfoot. They called me Mama Rose. The neighbors, the mother of kings, and me, I just call myself grateful. Life didn't give me what I prayed for. It gave me something wilder, messier, but more beautiful than I ever imagined. A legacy not built by blood, but by choice, by fierce, faithful love that stayed. Was it easy? Never. Was it worth it? Every breath. People think you need the perfect setup, money, timing, a partner, to make a difference. That's the lie. Love finds its way through the cracks, through the chaos. And what you give, somehow it always comes back. Not always in the form you expect, but always exactly when you need it most. So tell me, was Rosemary right to open her heart to 5 boys no one else wanted? Is family born, or is it built? And if you were in her shoes, would you have done the same? I want to hear your story. Let's talk about love, justice, family, and what really matters.